Welcome to F101 with Friends, your pit stop for all things Formula One. Whether you're here for the stats, the memes, or just figuring out what a chicane is, we've got you covered. Buckle up, because the fun starts right now.
Hi everyone, my name is Nisha. Okay, actually no, my name is Kevin, and you have heard from me before as a guest and a co-host. Nisha normally has a guest to join her on this F1 journey every week, but with half of the season done, it was high time we pulled a Freaky Friday and had her as a guest. This week we're heading to Spa. Not to get like a mani-pedi, but it is one of the most iconic, dramatic and unpredictable circuits on the calendar. I mean, it's set in the middle of the Ardennes forest. It rains on one side of the track and not on the other. It's home to the Eau Rouge and the Radion. What more could you want? And for the first time, the guest will be Nisha.
Woohoo! Oh my god, this feels weird. And it's kind of exciting. Kind of like Spa, Francorchamps, actually, because I love Spa, right? And we've got a sprint weekend, so the chaos is going to start very, very early.
I feel like this is a question that you've repeatedly asked people, but I don't think it's ever come back to you before. But here we go. What got you into F1?
I have not answered this question in like 18 episodes, I think. Basically, one of my friends who I had on the Ferrari episode, it's shout out Ashwati, she kind of bullied me into watching Drive to Survive. And I was just like, man, I don't care about sports. I don't care about cars. Why am I watching this? And then she forced me to watch not the first season, but whatever was the latest season at the time. And every time that I wasn't like understanding something, she would pause and explain everything. And I am a sucker for anyone who talks about anything with passion. Like, I am such a sucker. You talk to me passionately about how quickly wall paint dries, I will suddenly become a fan of wall paint. For me, when she spoke so passionately about F1, like I sat and binged what Drive to Survive, and then I started watching the races, and now I have a podcast.
I'm so happy to hear that it was Ashwati that got you into F1.
Yes.
Because for our most loyal listeners, like two of you, you know who you are. For those of you who know, there was a week where I was the co-host along with Ashwati. Towards the end, we did try to stage a coup and kind of overthrow the dictatorship that is Nisha. But as you can tell, all's good in F101 land. On that note, let's kind of move into your second favorite question, which is, if you were at a dinner party with your favorite F1 drivers, what would you say to them?
So you know my favorite F1 driver. It's Yuki Tsunoda, who recently lost his phone in Lake Como. Don't cry. Please don't cry in front of me. I cannot do this today. But yes, Yuki is my favorite F1 driver. I know that Honda just cancelled his contract with him and we're not going to see him on track next year. Please do not.
I mean, yeah. I feel sad for him because, yes, obviously they did cancel the contract. So there is a very, very, very... I don't think there's a chance that we will see him, right? Like, even if all the stars line up, I don't think there's a...
Yes, but if I had to pick any F1 driver that I would go out to dinner, like to take with me on a dinner party, it has to be Yuki Tsunoda, because I know he's going to know the best food spots in town and he's going to know where the Wagyu at. So let's go, Yuki. That's exactly what I want to have dinner with him for.
But let me play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
If he is the one, I mean, since he doesn't have a seat next year, I think you'll be left footing the bill. Are you sure you want that A1 Wagyu? Wouldn't you rather prefer going to Ramesh's tea stall instead?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I figured as much.
If it's next year, then yes. Sorry, Yuki.
On that note, let's dive into the quick facts section. Let's head down to one of my most favorite tracks of the season, the Belgian Grand Prix, at Spa. I'm not going to pronounce what the second one is. Nisha can do that. I am sure that we've offended some people, but just so you know, so let's do this thing where whenever I say Spa, you complete it and you do the whatever frankincense. There we go.
Frankincense. Yes.
All right. So yeah. So I absolutely love the track because it's fast flowing corners and it's got some of the most spectacular corner names, as you can tell with my difficulty reading them as a super proud and now dyslexic boy. But it's in the middle of the forest. It rains, it gets misty, and the mist hangs around in the air, reducing visibility. Here's some kind of quick facts about the race. The Belgian GP has been around since the beginning of F1. So the first race was in 1950. Drivers do around 44 laps of this 7-kilometer circuit with 19 corners and 2 DRS zones. The current lap record is a 146 by Valtteri Bottas in 2018.
So the Belgian GP has actually been around for much longer. It started way back in 1925 with motorcycle racing. Then in 1923, after the success of the Le Mans 24 Hours, we had the Spa 24 Hours, which I think this year also had a Verstappen racing car in it. Fun fact, the first race in 1925 was won by Antonio Ascari, and the first F1 GP was won by his son, Alberto.
Is that nepotism? I don't think that's nepotism. But no,
It is. All of F1 is nepotism. But
on that note,
we turn a blind eye to the nepo babies that do well. Verstappen.
Right. Okay, that is true. Yeah. Back to Spa. It is the longest track on the calendar, which is why when it rains on one side of the circuit, the other can be totally dry. This will be the first for some of the rookies, and considering that there is a sprint race, they will only have one quote-unquote practice session to get the hang of it. If we have the rains, as we have in the past 20 years, there will be a lot of chaos. Maybe similar to what we saw in Australia this year.
I'm so looking forward to that. And I know we will do a sector breakdown, but I want to take a moment and talk about Eau Rouge and Ardennes. These are the most dangerous uphill turns, and the drivers absolutely love this one. It's also visually amazing, and I hope F1 TV will bring out the gyro cams for this race.
I absolutely love the implementation that they've done for the gyro cams. I think it's up Eau Rouge that you've got the stabilized footage. It's just fantastic.
I love it.
A little bit of that with a little bit of rain. Oh, we're going to see some people just sliding off, just into the catch fencing. I mean, fingers crossed, everybody comes out of it okay. But it is motor racing. There's going to be a rain. At the end of the day, we all know what the outcomes are going to be. But
go ahead. You can say it. You can say Franco Colapinto.
I mean, let's just wish for the best. But it has been the site of a tragic crash in 2019 where we lost a young Antoine Hubert. He was very close friends with Gasly and Leclerc. Every year, Gasly does a run before the race to honor his memory and places flowers at the site where he crashed. It is a stark reminder to everybody that while those corners are exciting, it is very important to be careful.
Absolutely. And I actually really like seeing the photos that everyone puts up of Gasly. Like every year, there's this huge collage that I've seen ever since 2020. He's been there's photos of him at that corner placing flowers and just saying like a silent prayer.
You need to make a move towards safety in F1, and I'm genuinely glad that the new generation of drivers aren't hotshots and just throwing it out into the wind trying to make a name for themselves.
But that is the reminder of Spa, right? Every time you think of Spa, you think of the best racing, but also the scariest and the place that you need safety the max.
Absolutely. And would that be how you would describe the track?
Oh, so the layout itself? Okay, so the thing is, Spa's layout is a bit wild. It is the longest track on the calendar, and honestly, at first glance, it looks a little bit like a scribble in the Ardennes forest. But if you zoom out, I think it looks like a pistol, like an actual pointy handgun ready to fire.
So that would mean turn 1 is the tip of the barrel?
Yes.
And the track shoots up through the length of it?
Yep.
Somewhere around 5 to 7, that's the hammer that you cock.
Yeah.
Then turn 8, that's the safety.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the track loops down around the grip and somewhere around the trigger at turn 17.
Yes.
Oh, and then you got the final straight. That's the frame, right? Setting you up to go boom across the line.
Yes, exactly that.
So let's break it down by the sectors then. Yeah. So sector 1 turns 1 to 4, aka the barrel. So turn 1, La Source. This tight hairpin is named after a natural spring that used to be nearby. It is one of the best overtaking spots on the lap, and it definitely delivers on the drama during the race starts. Then you fire down the hill into the legendary sequence of Eau Rouge and Radion, which makes up turn 2, 3, and 4. Eau Rouge means red water, named after the stream that flows underneath it. It is a sharp dip to the left where your stomach drops, and then you charge uphill through the Radion, a name that translates to steep path. And steep it is. This fast, blind rise leads onto the first DRS zone, the Kemmel Straight, and is one of the most iconic sections in motorsport. Hold your breath and just hope that your car sticks.
Sector 2 is turns 5 to 14, the hammer and the grip. Now, we are into the hammer part of the pistol where things get technical. Turns 5 to 7 make up the Le Combe complex. Le Combe is French for the valleys. It's referring to the wooded dip in the part of the Ardennes forest. You brake hard at the end of the Kemmel Straight, then snake through a quick left, right, left. It's all about balance and throttle control. Then it's down to turn 8 or Brussels, which was formerly called Rivage, renamed to honor the Belgian Grand Prix's close ties to the capital. So this is a long downhill right-hander where you can feel the car slide on entry. Turn 9 is actually a no-named corner, but some digging tells us that it is the speaker's corner, as it used to pass by the speaker tower for the broadcast. It's tricky, off-camber, and easy to mess up. Then we come to the grip of the gun, Pouhon, which is turns 10 and 11. It's a double apex left-hander that's fast, wide, and risky. It's named after a nearby spring, and it's where bravery meets tire wear. Next up is Fan, or as the locals call it, the Piff Paff, which is turns 12 and 13, because they're very fast and involve some quick direction shifts. Finally, Stavelot, turn 14, named after the local town, launches you back towards high-speed territory. It's all about the clean exit and building momentum.
Sector 3 turns 15 to 19, the trigger and the final shot. So turn 15 is Campus, named after the Campus Automobile University. And then you have 16 and the trigger at 17 called Blanchimont, named after a nearby village. It's a flat-out left header taken at terrifying speeds. In the past, it was a real test of courage. These days, it's still a rush, especially in qualifying. And then we get to the final shot at the bus stop chicane, which is turn 18 and 19. Back in 2007, this used to be a public road, and yes, it included a bus stop. So Nisha, now that you've heard how the track's set up, I mean, you know it well, like the back of your hand, what are your podium predictions?
This is a tough one because, so we're not talking about race starts, right? We're not talking about grid. We're talking about who's going to be in the podium.
Yeah, for the sprint qualifying and the race, because we now know that those are two totally different things.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so for sprint, I have a feeling that we're going to see a Ferrari. Okay. And it could be Lewis. I'll tell you why. I'll give you my reason. It's because there's going to be rain, right? The Ferrari has brought upgrades, which seem to be working. And in a sprint race, you cannot call strategies and the Ferrari team cannot mess up. It's all on the drivers. So
I feel like you're giving them a little bit too much credit. Right, because I'm sure that Ferrari would find a way to squeeze in strategy in a sprint race. Just trust them to do it. But I'm sure that when you said I have a feeling that it's going to be Hamilton. Somewhere in the world, Hamilton just leaned in closer and listened to this podcast. He was like, Tell me more, Nisha. Tell me more about how I'm going to do well.
I think it's going to be Hamilton. I think he's going to
Of
be
course.
on one of those podium positions.
Right.
And I think the other two, I don't know. I'm having this feeling that Verstappen's going to come back like angry and pissed off, and he's like, I'm going to win everything. So I want to say Verstappen P2
Okay.
because that car is
Yes.
not there. And
Yeah.
because I like Oscar more than Norris, it's going to be Oscar Verstappen Hamilton. Yes, that's
Right.
what I
And
see
for
for
the race.
sprint. For the race, it's going to be McLaren 1-2, and you know what? I'm going to throw in it's a toss up between Max or George. I don't know why.
Okay. Oh, all right. You mean the
The
one
two
former
Mercedes, yeah.
and one former and one future Mercedes driver? Those Max and George? Right. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, it is. I love how P1 and P2 of your race prediction is based on historical knowledge, and P3 is based on just vibes.
Feelings.
Yeah, on the feeling. Yeah, you just like throw. It's just vibes. It's just a
Yes.
vibe based prediction.
It is.
But
It is.
I on that note, I'm gonna go in the totally different direction.
Okay.
So for the sprint, I feel like Max will do well. I hope he does. Because like in a lot of things in life, when you get rid of quote unquote dead weight, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Is this a card game? Because there's been some reshuffling that's happened. But yeah, I like you said, I feel like Max has something to prove, if not at least to himself, because he's not the World Driver Championship contender anymore.
Yeah.
They were. I feel like about 2 races into the season, they realized they won constructors' championship, so
Nope.
contenders also. So I feel like if anything, it's just to prove a point to his future employers that I'm a good boy. I can do car race. So I have a feeling I maybe it might not happen, but I'd really like to see Max up on the podium
Yeah.
because I feel like it's been a while. Like he deserves something because of the amount of dedication that man has put into the sport. I'm not saying that should validate him getting P1, but he's put the work in. And if
I
it
mean, he's
wasn't-
the kind of person who can literally take, like, he doesn't, at this point, you can just put a cardboard box on Max Verstappen and he will, like, write the words Red Bull on it and he will still take that to a podium position.
Absolutely. Like, that is a man that lives, breathes, and sleeps motor racing. Because
Yep.
if he isn't in a car, he's on the simulator. If he isn't training, he's doing online racing. If he isn't doing that, he's racing under made up names. It's that's a level of dedication to the
It is.
sport that like you see this thing where you hear it in the arts where you have people perfecting their art form. Max is doing that in motorsport. He's perfecting his art form.
True.
And I absolutely love that for him, and I want to see it pay dividends more than what it has right now.
Yep.
For P2, I don't know if lightning could strike twice, but Nico Hulkenberg.
Yes.
Yeah, because like you said, it's going to be rainy in some bits and
True.
foggy, so I think we're going to lose about 6 of the drivers to unforeseen situations. And
I wonder which 6.
yeah, there could be some collateral damage also that they take along with
no.
them. Came in like a wrecking ball. But again, no. But on a much more serious note, I think P2 and 3 could be the McLaren boys. When we come to the race, I'm going to have to side with you on the P1 and P2 for the McLarens.
Yep.
Those guys are unstoppable.
Yep.
If there's anybody who can upset them in either a P2 or a 3, because both of them are going to end up on the podium for sure, but on a P2 or a P3, I have a feeling that it's going to be Ant-Man, Kimi Antonelli,
Really?
because so that's why you got the 6 people prediction wrong. So I feel like Kimi could be up on the podium because, I mean, I'd love to see him up on the podium. He has been doing pretty well this season, and
Yep.
especially in a challenging race like this, if he does well, then I think we'll know who we're saying goodbye to next season in the Team Mercedes, right? So, I mean, it's Formula One, it's cutthroat.
True.
Let's just hope that our predictions come true. It's going to be an exciting weekend this weekend
Yes.
because if you're somebody on Instagram who's been maybe seeing 10 posts on F1, be ready to see maybe 15 from brand new viewers that the sport has brought
Correct.
in. So
True. True.
again, I'm
Yes.
I'm happy to see that. But if any of you new listeners are here, let's kind of talk about the history of the Belgian Grand Prix because let's
Yes.
go back to where it started. So this isn't just another old European race. I'm looking at you, Monaco. It's a race that fought to stay alive. The very first Belgian Grand Prix took place in 1925, making it one of the oldest in the sport. From the start, it had very big ambitions and one very big, very fast venue. Spa,
Francorchamps.
there we go. But back then, Spa wasn't what it is today. It was a 14-kilometer monster made up of public roads, blasting through the forest and villages. No runoffs, barely any barriers, just courage, speed, and well, a lot of risk.
By the time Formula One was officially born in 1950, Spa was already on the calendar. But as the years rolled on, the dangers became hard to ignore. Speeds were going up, but safety hadn't caught up. The original layout was breathtaking, but brutal. And by 1970s, the drivers had had enough. There were protests, real boycotts. In 1969, no race was held at all. And by 1971, Spa was officially deemed too dangerous for modern F1. So the Belgian GP started bouncing around. It moved to Nivelles, which was brand new and very uninspiring.
Then to Zolder, which was better, but still couldn't match Spa's magic. The fans knew it, the drivers knew it just didn't feel like Belgium. And then in 1982 at Zolder, Gilles Villeneuve was killed during qualifying. It shook the sport. It only cemented what everybody already felt. Something had changed. So in 1983, Spa returned, but with a makeover. The circuit was shortened, safety features were added, and the magic that stayed. Since then, Spa has been the true home of the Belgian Grand Prix.
But even that wasn't the end of the drama. The race had been under threat many times. In 2003, the Belgian Grand Prix disappeared from the calendar, and not because the track was falling apart or the fans stopped showing up. Nope. This time it was about tobacco. Back then, Formula One was still deeply tied to cigarette brands. Think Marlboro on Ferraris, Lucky Strike on BAR, and West on a McLaren. Tobacco money was everywhere. But Belgium had just passed a law banning tobacco advertising in sports entirely. Full stop.
That meant Spa, with all its global broadcast coverage, would have been in violation if teams showed up with their usual liveries. And F1 being F1, they didn't want to race without their sponsors plastered all over their cars. It turned into a legal mess. The FIA and the Belgian government couldn't reach a compromise in time. And just like that, poof, the 2003 Belgian Grand Prix was gone. It was a huge blow. Spa is a fan and driver favorite, and its absence left a noticeable gap in the calendar. But it also lit a fire, no pun intended. The team, the circuit, and the government worked out a deal, and thankfully, Spa was back on the calendar in 2004. It was a turning point. It marked the beginning of the end for tobacco advertising in F1 altogether.
But by 2006, it was off the calendar again. This time, it was construction. The circuit needed a serious infrastructure update. New paddock, updated pit lane, better access roads, but the renovation hit major delays thanks to a mix of red tape and poor planning. And Spa just wasn't ready to host a Grand Prix that year. Thankfully, the work got done and Spa returned in 2007, looking sleek and modern, but still retaining all of its old school charm. The corners that have seen the most change are, of course, Eau Rouge and Radio. The spine-tingling left-right-left uphill combo that defines Spa-Francorchamps. Originally laid out in 1939 to replace a slower hairpin, the corner was ultra-fast and narrow, hugging the public roads with the trees close by. Over time, it got progressively modernized. Runoff areas were added in the 70s, and in 1994, a temporary chicane was installed after Senna's death, though it was removed the next year. Fast forward to the 2000s, and Spa updated its gravel traps and tarmac runoff areas around Radion. And then, after several serious incidents in 2022, the circuit added a much larger runoff zone, reprofiled the curbs, and expanded the tarmac areas, especially on the uphill side. Even with the professional simulator work behind 20 plus design iterations, the goal was safe, not sterile. So, while the runoff has grown, the breathtaking uphill rush of Eau Rouge still remains intact. It is still the most iconic roller coaster moment in F1.
Let's transition into the best moments from Spa. 1985, the birth of a wet weather legend, Ayrton Senna. Most drivers were just trying to survive, but Senna made it look like ballet in the rain. Driving for Lotus, he danced around the track while others slid off left and right. He won that race by almost a minute, lapping most on the field.
1992, Senna was known for his aggression and slick moves, but also for being an advocate for safety. During qualifying, French driver Eric Coma had a terrifying crash at the top of Eau Rouge. He was unconscious, foot stuck on the throttle, engine still revving. And before the marshals could get there, Ayrton Senna pulled over, jumped out of his own car, sprinted to Coma's wreck, and shut off the engine himself. It's one of those goosebump moments that remind you how much respect there is between drivers, even in a sport that's built on competition.
Now let's talk about the chaos in lap 1 in 1998. Rain's pouring, visibility zero, and then bam, David Coulthard spins on the straight. 13 cars slam into each other, carbon fiber everywhere. It was like a demolition derby. But the real drama came later when Schumacher, leading the race, crashed into Coulthard, trying to lap him. Schumacher was furious. He stormed down the pit lane and confronted Coulthard in the McLaren garage. The cameras caught it all. Red face, fingers pointed, and the famous shout, "You tried to kill me."
Yes, I've seen that photo. That's the one that they use in the memes all the time, right? Of Schumacher like running, like storming into the garage to murder David Coulthard. And then you have 2000, which is like, this moment is for the highlight reels. 2 laps to go, Mika Häkkinen chasing Michael Schumacher. They're flat out on the Kemmel Straight when both of them come up behind a slower car. In a split second, Schumacher goes left to pass and Häkkinen goes right. 3 cars side by side, and then Häkkinen nails the overtake and takes the lead. It's still considered one of the greatest overtakes in F1 history. If you are new to the sport, this is one of those YouTube moments that will hook you for life.
In 2004, at Spa, Michael Schumacher clinched his 7th World Championship and sealed his place in history. Most titles, most wins, most everything at the time. And he did it with a Ferrari. At the track where he had made his debut back in 1991. It was a full circle moment in front of the fans. His 7th world title and the coronation of a king.
2009, something for us Indian fans to cheer for. This one came out of nowhere. Giancarlo Fisichella stuck his Force India, a team that had never even scored a point, on pole position. Everyone was stunned. And I've seen the video of this. It pans immediately to Vijay Mallya. And like, as proud I am as to see that Force India in podium, the moment they show that thief.
Okay, firstly, that tells me that you haven't heard the 3-hour podcast that he put out.
No.
The minute I heard the podcast, I filed my ITR. I was like, yo, the nation deserves it.
But yeah, that Force India was not doing well at all. And in 2009, after Fisichella was managed to put that car in podium, he kept it at P2 and nearly won that race.
Absolutely. Fast forward to 2018, and on the opening lap, Fernando Alonso's car went airborne, launched over Charles Leclerc's cockpit after a massive collision. Cameras showed a tire scraping right over Leclerc's head. What stopped it? The halo. It was controversial when it was introduced, but that moment silenced the doubters.
And finally, 2019. Charles Leclerc, then just 21 years old, delivered a commanding win at Spa. His first ever in F1. But it was an emotional one. Just the day before, his close friend and fellow driver Antoine Hubert had died tragically in a crash during the F2 race. Leclerc had dedicated the win to him.
With that, let's get into the race at Spa in 2024. And wow, what a roller coaster. We had rain threats, big tire gambles, and a shocking twist after the checkered flag. Let's start right at the top. George Russell pulled off what looked like the perfect one-stop strategy, stretching those hard tires for 34 laps. That's more than half of the race and won it on track. Except he didn't. Post-race, it turns out his car was underweight by 1.5 kgs. Now, that's my fitness goal, underweight by 1.5 kgs. But now here's the thing. After a race, most cars do a cool-down lap, collecting all the marbles on the track. Marbles, for those of you who don't know, are bits of tire rubber that's flown off from degradation. Spa doesn't have that lap. These actually add more weight to the car. More importantly, if he had taken the second pit stop, he would have had new tires which wouldn't have degraded that much and would have been at the right weight. That handed the win to his teammate, Lewis Hamilton, who had been chasing just half a second behind. So instead of a George fairy tale, we got a Lewis redemption story. His 105th win and a record equaling 5th at Spa.
Oscar Piastri snuck into P3 and grabbed another podium. Cool, calm, and clinical. Lando Norris had a scrappy first lap, lost ground, but fought his way back, even overtook Max in the closing stages to finish P5. The Papaya boys stayed sharp and brought home some serious points.
Charles Leclerc started on pole but couldn't quite hold off the Mercs and McLarens. Still a solid P4 for him. Carlos Sainz was steady in P6. They looked competitive but just didn't have that edge at Spa, considering how much they struggled in the year. I have no idea how they managed to finish P2 in the Constructors.
I know, right? But, I mean, even now. How are they P2? But, okay, we'll get to that. Red Bull had a rare off day. Max Verstappen, who had got pole, started from P11 due to some engine penalties, and he charged through like he always does. Still managed P5 on track. Sergio Perez, he finished 7th, which is not bad, and he did clock the fastest lap, so something for the Checo Perez highlight reel, I guess.
I watch it every day. Fernando Alonso finished 8th with a tidy one-stop strategy. Lance Stroll wasn't far off either in P11. Nothing flashy, but a decent recovery after a few tough races. Meanwhile, at Alpine, Esteban Ocon brought home 9th, his first points since Spain. Gasly was down in 13th, and at least it wasn't a total washout for the French team.
Racing Bulls and Williams were in the fight, kinda. Daniel Ricciardo scored a point in P10, which will feel like a small win for Racing Bulls. Yuki Tsunoda finished way down in 16th, which is now his home in Red Bull. Albon and Sargent for the Williams ended up 12th and 17th. Both outside the points, but still, at least they finished clean.
And bringing up the rear, we had Haas and Sauber, which were just there serving as back markers. Magnussen 14th, Hulkenberg 18th. Is this the P3 in the last race, Hulkenberg?
Yes,
it
exactly.
Is, isn't it? And we had Bottas in 15th, and poor Zhou had to retire early with a hydraulic issue. And I feel like this whole section reads like the ghosts of Christmas past, because there are so many drivers in here that are not with us anymore, but are with us in spirit.
In spirit.
Let's talk prep. Because racing at Spa isn't just about showing up with a fast car. It's about finding the right balance in one of the most demanding setups of the year. Spa is long with huge elevation changes and a mix of flat-out straights and twisty corners. That means teams face classic trade-offs. Do you want speed on the straights or grip in the corners? They'll go for a medium to low downforce, so you're quick through Kemmel and Blanchimont, but you still have enough bite through the twisty middle sectors. Add to that, ride height matters. You've got high-speed compressions at Eau Rouge and elevation at Radion. Too low and you bottom out, too high you lose aero performance. It's a fine line.
The tires will most likely be a step softer than last year, so C3, C4, C5. We also might see the inters being used. We never go full wets because I don't even know why we have that as a tire. Chumma, just lugging it around from city to city. But
it's to kind of cover up the color wheel, I feel like, because you've got RGB. So
Yeah,
this is the B of that, right? It's just for aesthetics.
So the soft rubber means high degradation, and when it's spa, you always build your strategy around weather. Even if it is bone dry for FP1, it can pour in the sprint or the race. The last year, slicks were used for half a lap before everyone had to pit again. So yeah, chaos is just one cloud away. Spa is usually a one-stopper if it's dry. Most drivers go from softs or mediums to hards, but it is a very long lap, which means if you mess up pit timing, you lose big chunks of time. Expect the teams to keep it flexible. The undercuts can work, but only if you're clear of traffic. Otherwise, you get stuck in sector 2 and your tires are crying for help. Add to this that the track has its own personal weather system. There will be sunshine at bus stop, rain at La Sauce, and 2025 looks no different. Forecasts are already bouncing between drizzle and dry, especially for the sprint day.
Speaking of the sprint, the weekend does change. Friday is practice session and the sprint qualifying in the evening. Saturday is the sprint race followed by the race qualifying in the evening, and Sunday is the race as per usual. It means the teams just have 1 hour to dial in their cars before Parc Fermé. That puts serious pressure on simulation tools, driver feedback, and gut instinct.
Which means it's going to be super fun for us to watch.
Let's talk about the championship battle. Nisha, where exactly are you on how your championship is faring so far compared to when the season started?
Okay, so I kind of always knew that the McLaren's going to be on top, right? Like, that's because they did so well towards the end of the last season, and we always knew that they're going to be on top. But
not all of us.
really,
Not
who
all
did
of
you
us.
think was
No.
going to be on top? Single-handedly, you expected Max to come all the way to the top just on his own?
Okay, when the season started, they gave a lot of build-up for Yuki Tsunoda.
Hey,
Okay, the way that I'm sorry, but when they demonized Checo and they kicked him out and they were like, oh, we're going to bring in Yuki Tsunoda, I was like, oh, Checo actually might have had some pitfalls. This is going to be the year that's going to be a clean sweep.
1 second. I have to remind you that the first 2 races was Liam Lawson.
Oh,
You have forgotten that you
I oh,
was
right.
last pick.
Oh my God. Yeah, that I really feel bad for the boy.
And you're a
all
Red Bull
I see,
fan.
okay. As I am a Checo
Yes,
in Red Bull fan.
correct.
Checo second driver Red Bull fan. See, the thing is, for me, the fact that he was leaving, not happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that they portrayed him kind of like having to leave, whoever it is at the second, now that we know that maybe tomorrow there'll be new second driver, we don't know.
Correct.
But the amount of people who've been through the doors at that place is so much that we've kind of lost track. But regardless of whatever it is, the way that they painted it,
Yeah.
I genuinely had some hopes. Like, okay, I wouldn't expect whoever the Red Bull second driver is to end up on P3 and secure the spot so that P1 or 2 is just a fight for Red Bull. That's never been the situation at Red Bull. But I would at least expect a decent defensive driver the way Checo was.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
towards the end, okay, it was a different kind of defense against the dark arts, but still, like,
yes, okay.
that's what I had in mind for the second driver at Red Bull. Before any of us knew that Max had given up for the World Driver Championship, I feel like he himself knew.
Yeah.
When they were doing the rotating door of second
Correct,
drivers in
correct.
the team.
Yeah.
I guess it made sense.
I guess that's when everything was like, yeah, okay, this is not gonna happen. But yeah, I thought that, like, I feel like the points position as of now is close enough to what I was thinking, because we have McLaren at 460 points, which is where I expected both of them to be. They've got 2 good drivers who are scoring points for them consistently, and also a great car that's putting them like 1 minute ahead of everyone else. The surprise element was Ferrari, who was in P2 with 222 points. I mean, every week, all I hear and all I read is the awful strategy, someone being disqualified, both of them being disqualified in a race, or, just something horrible happening. I don't know how they are at P2 right now. We then have Mercedes at 210, which I thought Mercedes would be higher than Ferrari.
Right. Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Because if you think about the performance of both George and Kimi Antonelli, they've had standout performances, but I realized that it's not been the both of them close enough for it to value in the constructors, right? They've had their individual standalone performances, but where one's done good, the other one's not done so good. The other one's kind of taken Max on a a mid-race date. So, I mean,
but they are only like 12 points apart, which is not much. It's basically, like one podium for both Mercedes driver and one very reliable, awful strategy from Ferrari.
Yeah, I think we're at a good kind of a point right now. But I think with the upgrades that Ferrari have bought in, I would put it more on the driving skill of, I think, because the thing is Hamilton trusted the team a little bit too much. And now he's like, maybe I should turn off the radio for a bit,
Oh my god.
Like he's just
in the last race, apparently they didn't have GPS for Hamilton for half the race. Like they had no idea
where. Which explains why he did so.
Exactly.
Right, there we go, yeah. Because I'm guessing right now he's just blasting like a Gulzar in his headphones. And he's just like, it's just Gulzar and vibes, So, okay, let's talk about the midfield teams then, right? How are they doing?
So you have, we didn't mention Red Bull in P4 at 172 points.
That's a pain point for me. I have chosen to...
Me also.
Yeah. Okay.
And then from the Red Bull, we have a steep drop off, which is Williams at 59 points.
But credit where credit is due. Williams at 59 points is not bad.
I agree. Considering where they were, it's great for them. But I don't know. I really thought that Sainz would get used to the car much faster. I thought they would be doing better. 59 points is no joke, but I don't know. I'm expecting a little bit better from them. And I feel like Albon's car seems to be dying on him almost every second race.
Yeah, it's like, how are both the drivers having such drastically different cars? Like, it's like one of them is made with sugar, spice and everything nice, and the other one is just like carbon fiber stuck together with duct tape and chemical X, and it's just be like drive. It's such a stark difference, and I feel like you said about Carlos, I feel like he should have gotten into the vibe of things. I know we've used vibe a lot, but I feel like he should have gotten into the groove of things. Groove. Oh my god, groove. Yeah, but I'm guessing it's taking him a little bit of time to see the signs.
Oh,
get it. Wop wop. Who's next?
We then have Kick Sauber at 41 points, and I want to say the maximum haul of points is clearly from that podium of Nico Hülkenberg, because wow, what a team. How have they improved so much over the span of 1 year? Last year, this is the same team that was doing 52-second pit stops. They had 4 points all of last year. And now look at them. They are in a really good place to unseat Williams. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then you have the Racing Bulls at 36 points, which is a beaten down Liam Lawson trying to gain his confidence back, and the only rookie who has not had a Q1 exit this whole season.
Isaac Hadjar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that creative on Reddit sometime back, and I was like, one of them is not like the rest.
Yeah, the others are all like McLaren boys, Ferrari boys, George Russell, and then there's Isaac.
Max Verstappen.
Yeah, and then there's Isaac.
I would have not pegged him as the rookie of the year, but if he keeps this up, like for me, it was always Antonelli because he ended up on podiums. But this is consistency. Like that is where it matters. Like that is okay. Maybe God knows where his future is going to take him, but that's a really good sign of a number one driver.
Yes.
Like consistency, because it's not about getting up on the podium, but it's where you end up. In every race that will get you points. Because everybody at the end of the day knows constructors where the real money's at.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
I guess it makes sense.
I think actually that helps me define a lot of like the drivers that I like. I like consistent drivers. Like I don't like, I cannot like Ferrari for that main reason, which is like I cannot do the high highs and the extremely depressing lows.
Low lows.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's insane. I like the consistent, like, oh, wow, so nice. Which is why I like Yuki for so long, because he was very consistent in V-Cup. Please. Hey, to be fair, he's consistent in Red Bull also. He's consistently P17.
Like the thing is, it kind of reminds me of this album from, I think it was Rick Ross or something, or no, it was DJ Khaled, Suffering from Success. It's like, the thing is, when he got called up to Red Bull, I was like, yo, apna time aa gaya.
Oh, I cried.
I was like, this boy is going to come in and do something he's going to do. I was like, did I actually love Checo Perez all along? Like, was it Stockholm syndrome because he bought Kit Kat and Patron as sponsors? Yeah, I was like, was that the reason why my two vices? But then after I saw Yuki, I was like, maybe Checo wasn't that bad. After all, So, it helps put things in perspective.
That is true.
So, it is what it is. I guess we're missing one team.
I'm missing 3 teams actually. Aston Martin also at 36 points along with Racing Bulls. And like Lance Stroll, honestly, I don't know what happens when it starts raining. Suddenly he becomes Senna. And he was like almost he was almost podium in Silverstone, which is insane.
Oh, dude, that was crazy. It's the thing is, like, for somebody who did donuts last race and ended up getting the last what was the last season, right? He ended up doing donuts and he got stuck in the grass. And for somebody who did that, who like becomes a mad boy in the rain, it kind of like reminds me of those those old memes that we'd see, like, I walk in the rain so nobody can see me cry. It reminds me of that, like this guy's performance in the rain, dude, is crazy, man. But
oh man, yes,
it's and also, please talk about the Tata of the group.
Yes, Fernando Alonso, who is being so sassy on the radio, and I love it.
I think there was this kind of urban myth going around that during one of the testings, he got into a crash. And the vehicle was electrically charged. And technically, he ended up Benjamin buttoning himself. I feel like the reversing is happening now. Like the reversal has happened now. Because he's now the old age is starting to show. Because becoming so sassy, dude. I'm telling you, it's going to come to a point where he'll be like on the radio. He'll be like, "Is dinner ready? Where is TV remote? I want to watch news."
I think, and this is my tinfoil theory, when Lance Stroll went for his wrist surgery before Canada, they did a body swap with Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll.
The actual Freaky Friday.
Yes, exactly. Yes, which is why Lance is doing so well right now, and Alonso is just, I don't know what is going on.
Which might explain why Alonso is calling Papa Stroll daddy. Now it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. See? My theory stands.
Okay.
But yes, we have Haas at 29 points, which is kind of, I was really hoping for more from Haas, honestly. Under Io, they have that Japanese work ethic, and they've got Ocon, who's doing very well. Ollie, who's also doing very well, but for some reason, they're stuck at 29 points. I don't know why they aren't moving forward.
I think the problem with Behrman was that it's kind of like we saw him do his best and then progressively flew back.
Yeah.
Because the first introduction that almost all of us had
Yeah.
to Ollie, who hasn't been following his journey before, was in the race where he had to swap
Saudi.
in at Ferrari.
Yeah.
And he ended up P8, if I'm not
P6.
mistaken. P6,
Yeah.
right, yeah, somewhere around that. Which was mental
Man,
for
yes.
a driver who had to step up.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't the driver that stepped in, he was the driver that stepped up. So
Ooh.
yeah, like he stepped in and he filled those boots. He
Yeah.
did something. And then after that, you obviously put him in a vehicle that has a Ferrari engine, but missing the rest of that stuff. I'm just like, I feel like he kind of peaked and now he's kind of on his way down. But you put him in a better car, that boy has potential. Like, I think when you kind of like round up the the grid with a lot more rookie drivers,
Yeah.
and you put him in a little bit of a better car, you'll actually see him kind of cutting his way through,
But
and making a difference.
I'll take your point. However,
Sure.
if you just compare him with Ocon, his teammate who's in the same car,
Right.
Ocon is in P10 right now and he's in P18. Like Ocon's made 23 points and Ollie has made 6. So,
Valid. Like they say, not all cars are built the same. Right? Like, as in, there must have been something about the way that maybe the Ferrari was set up and the support that he received. And
maybe.
he obviously spent some time in the Ferrari, like it's...
Yeah.
As no matter whatever you say, he was the reserve, right, for them. Like,
Correct.
he
He would have
did
done
spend some
simulator
time in the
stuff.
car. Yeah. He knows the car. He knows the way it works. He knows everything. It's a good car. The Ferrari is a good car. It's
a
the
good
strategy that like kind of shoots them in the foot. The Haas is not a good car.
Yeah.
It is one of the 2 tractors that are on track. Right.
Right.
So the reason why his teammate is doing good is because his racecraft is actually
Very good. Yeah.
Like, he
Ocon
has
is
really
very
good racecraft. Ocon has had years and years and
Yeah.
years to perfect his racecraft in vehicles that do not have the benefit of speed.
Yeah.
So he needs to know defense.
Yep.
His defense is really, really good.
True.
He would make a really nice second driver. He would be a perfect blocker. But I think he has higher ambitions right now,
Yeah.
which is kind of why he's where he's at right now. But give him a few more years to settle down in his career and he'll kind of understand that, okay, if I want to kind of get some podiums but also make a name for myself,
Yeah.
like second drivers where it has to be. But obviously for a different team.
Ocon would never be a second driver because this is the first time in his entire career that he's not actively trying to kill his teammate. Because
Yeah.
that is Ocon's thing, right? Like he's like,
Do you maybe feel like that's the reason why Ollie isn't performing well? The
Because he's
threat of
scared.
death.
He's
Yeah.
scared.
Yeah, like imagine if you had a coworker who every time you be like, hey boss, the work's done. You see a coworker sharpening the knife and you be like, okay, maybe listen, Bhaiya, you submit the project. I will take loss of pay. It's fine. It's okay. You do you, right? So
maybe
that's okay. Well, I mean, I do remember us talking about how the rookies were more focused on safety. I guess this makes sense. Yeah. Okay, but on that note, let's kind of talk about the rookies. Where do you we've got 6-7 rookies, but we're not counting Alonso. But how are the 6 rookies doing this season? How are they faring?
So the rookies, obviously Antonelli is on top of that table, just the rookie table. But that's also because he has a car that can win races, right? So
Absolutely.
he's at the top with like 63 points. So good for him. But right after that is Hajar with 21 points. That's the second rookie. Followed by Liam Lawson, who is above Yuki Tsunoda. Not going to say anything.
Aw.
Not going to say anything.
Okay.
And then you have Behrman, Bortoletto, Colapinto, and Doohan. Colapinto and Doohan are the only 2 who haven't scored a single point. Doohan, I don't know if he's going to have a chance because Alpine is just playing such a weird game where they're like, okay, this race, you. Next race, we'll put some chits and find out. You know those chip chop games that we used to play? That's exactly what Flavio Briatore is doing.
Right. The finger puppet thingy, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And then
Exactly.
after when he opens it up, he's like, we are taking your rear wing and we are putting it on my car. I'm like, what? You drive a Honda Civic? I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Let's wrap the Belgian Grand Prix. But we need to discuss one last thing. We've discussed your race predictions, your sprint predictions. What's your boldest season 25 predictions?
Okay. This is not going to happen, but I really
Okay.
want it to happen.
Let's hear it.
My boldest, actually, this is not even, I guess it counts for the 2025 season. My
Right.
boldest prediction is that Yuki Tsunoda will not be left without a seat for the next season.
Oh, I agree with you absolutely. He will have a seat, yeah. But as a reserve driver on the sidelines, yeah, because I mean the thing is, see, I'll tell you, the reason
You know
why
what? I'm happier you said like as a reserve driver, not like, oh, he will have a seat, a fan seat.
yeah, on the sidelines in F3, okay,
Hey, come
because
on.
see the thing is, like there were some drivers that are there on because of the value propositions, and everybody
Yeah.
knows Yuki is a Honda driver. Everybody
Right.
knows Checo was their key to the Latin American market. Colapinto is bringing in your Argentina belt, but with all of this being the case, Yuki was performing how
Yeah.
he needed to perform. He wasn't like Joe, you know. I mean, I'm not. Sorry, no, I'm not. Dunking on Joe, but he actually did a good job. I'm really sad
did.
to see him go. He not only did well from a race standpoint of view, but the one facet that people don't kind of pay attention to or give it enough credit is also your post-race, pre-race, the social
Yeah.
media content and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like he did really well on camera. Like he was
He
that
did.
likable, Asian character that
Yep.
okay, I mean, sorry if it's offensive when I use the term, but anyway, he was that likable Asian that was
Yeah.
there on the grid,
Yeah.
at a time
He
where
was
we had
relatable. Like
Absolutely.
when you saw that first episode where he was there and he was like, when I do cardio in the morning, it just ruins my day. Like I fell in love in that one line.
Yeah, I feel like he could just be the boy next door,
Yeah, exactly.
He was very relatable. He was very cute. I don't know if I can say this about a lot of other drivers, but there wasn't an inch of malice in his heart.
Yes.
He was very pure, and
Yes.
that is actually saying something about
Yeah.
him. But sad to see him go, but I guess that's it. Let's now stick to a realistic prediction.
Hey man. Listen, bold predictions. This is my prediction. This is where I stand. Yuki's gonna have a seat next year. I feel it. Feel it in my bones. My bones have lied to me before, but I feel it.
Okay, and for those of you who've forgotten, my boldest prediction is Checo in the Cadillac along with Bottas. Either one of the two are going to get the seat, but I would have been very, very, very surprised if Danny ends up with a seat over there also.
Really?
Regardless, I would love it, but I feel like he's done with it. Danny is done with it.
Done with it.
He is done with it because he's
I
had it.
would
He's
think
had it.
like Checo, Bottas, and maybe Mick Schumacher, but
As the reserve, they will not.
Yeah.
Mercedes is not letting him go. They will not let him go. So we have the Hungarian GP at Budapest next week, followed by a 3-week, much-needed summer break. We're in India, and it'll be raining, so there's no summer break for us. It'll just be flooding break. Okay.
Yes.
But yeah.
Kevin, thank you so much for being the host and letting me be the guest on this episode. But I think I'm going to take the reins back.
All right.
To our amazing listeners, what do you think? Drop your hot takes in the comments, send us a message, or tag us in your wildest predictions. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and share F101 with friends because this community is just getting started. If you have any queries or you want to be a friend on the pod, please reach out to me on Instagram. The link is in the description. special shout out to Kevin, who had this amazing idea to Freaky Friday and let me be the guest for once. And of course, Ashwati for indoctrinating me into this into this amazing world.
Thank you, Nisha. I've been your host, Kevin. We'll see you on the next episode of F101 with Friends.